Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Aesthetic Edge Beauty Unfiltered. And today we're going to talk about e.l.f.'s new Halo Glow Skin Tint. Now, before I get started, just some random rambles and banter from me. I am recording this on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Don't know if any dads listen to me. Don't know why you would, but hey, hello. And I'm sitting outside to record this, and that will end up being very bad or very good. We will find out. It's not really all that breezy right now. The birds are chirping, but we'll see. And the dog is barking in the house, and hopefully that isn't coming through. I record right now on my AirPods, and they are very noise canceling, so you're probably not getting the majority of any of the things going on around me. But I will say, I know the audio is not the best. They are on their last leg and probably need replaced. I do have other mics that I could record on, but they are in a bin in the basement. I am just being lazy. I don't feel like going down and digging for these microphones and unstacking boxes, but I will one day. But here we are. So before I get into just reading the entire blog post subject for this podcast, I do want to talk a little bit about this product. So e.l.f. has this line of Halo Glow products in the pink packaging. You know it, you've seen it. This product line is very successful, and that's why they keep rolling out these new products fast and furious. And here, just this month, they came out with this skin tint. But the kicker is it is $18. And believe it or not, this is actually the second most expensive single product that e.l.f. carries. So I'm not talking about like the makeup sets and the brush sets that they have that are obviously like 30, 40, $50. Just an individual drugstore makeup product. The number one most expensive product that they do have actually came out recently as well, and it is a jumbo version of the Power Grip Primer for $24. So there's definitely been a lot of back and forth, almost sort of backlash on this product, especially when I am browsing Reddit. I do have a Reddit account, so go check me out on there. It's linked everywhere. All my social medias are linked everywhere. Where people are saying, this is a no for me, dog. Like, I'm not going to go and spend $18 on this. And I think it's very curious because, of course, people are going to run their mouth saying, well, e.l.f. just acquired Rhode for $1 billion. And it really wasn't truly $1 billion, but it has people asking, why this high priced product when they're out here spending all this money in acquisitions? This also comes on the heels of e.l.f. announcing that they're going to be raising their prices due to tariffs. As you know, I like to just record these, just stream of consciousness, don't really want to do any edits. But with the tariffs, e.l.f. was saying, 75% of our products are going to stay at $10 or less, that sort of thing. They did all the marketing on social media. And there was definitely comments about that saying, hey, over COVID, you raised your prices and you actually didn't put them back down again. And that would be the concern here. They're going to cite tariffs, raise prices, and probably not put those prices back down again, which definitely stinks. We miss the days of $1, $3 pricing. Remember the white and the black packaging, the studio versus the essential line. Those days are long gone. And the other side of this pricing is not only is the $18, again, their second most expensive price point. And as I'm recording this, the cat is just going crazy at the glass store. He must see a bug. He's just jumping everywhere. What a distraction. But not only is that their second most expensive product, what I was seeing in the Reddit comments is this pricing is pretty well in line with other drugstore SPF skin tints, if not more expensive. So e.l.f. was actually built by one gentleman or two gentlemen, I forget the story, who said, you know what, let's bring these cosmetics to the drugstore, the type of products that are very popular on the market right now. Let's bring them to the drugstore and put them at like bargain basement pricing. And they basically started with everything or most things at $1. And what they've evolved into is a brand where a lot of things are now under $10, but they are open and actively a dupe brand. So e.l.f. does a good job of bringing us a product or a concept that you would have to go to Sephora to get a prestige product, right? And bringing it to the drugstore at a fraction of a price, and it ends up being a really, really good product. And they have just grown into a massive company because of this. But now with this $18 price point, you don't have a reason to really be loyal to e.l.f. That is why people have been loyal to e.l.f. is to save that money and to get that dupe, right? Now they are just another name, another face on the shelf that you either will or will not select. And to prove this point, I'm actually looking at Ulta right now. I put in SPF skin tint into my search and I sorted this from price low to high. And the first thing I see is Revlon's Illuminance Serum Tint. Probably not saying that right, but it is usually $18.99 and it's on sale for $11.39. I actually have this tint. I bought it on the same day I bought the e.l.f., but I got it at a Rite Aid closing sale. So I believe it was 60% off. Please drop me a comment if you want me to do a comparison blog post and videos and Substack and podcasts, the whole thing between Revlon and e.l.f. I can definitely do that. Let's see here. Going to keep scrolling. The next thing I see is CoverGirl Clean Fresh Blurring Skin Tint SPF 30 for $13.99. And a lot of these are just like mineral sunscreens. So I'm looking for tinted. And then I see NYX Buttermelt Glaze Skin Tint SPF 30 for $16. And is there anything else? There is Pacifica Kind Tint SPF 30 Tinted Serum. And after that, it's prestige brands. And the Pacifica is $18. So the only difference between e.l.f. just from doing this scan is SPF 50. And I'm not looking at the product details here to really see how many fluid ounces you get, but again, e.l.f. is no longer the cheapest price point or the dupe price point. And I've even seen some comments where people said, you know, if I'm going to spend close to $20, I might as well just go get one at Sephora at this point. So that's definitely a lot of money, and that's why I'm here to be the crazy person to try this stuff for you so you don't have to. And that's exactly what I did. So for the blog post here, it is titled e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint Review Swatches Look on Oily Combo Skin. So I'll get into the reading here and I will interject anything else that comes along into my brain. But e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint at a glance. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is a tinted light coverage foundation serum that contains SPF. Shades. 18 available, priced at $18, one of the highest priced products for e.l.f. Formula. Tinted sunscreen serum foundation featuring mineral SPF 50. Packaging. Squeeze tube that dispenses drops. Availability. Sold at most major retailers, in stores and online, but still being rolled out. And I have thought of one other point that I did want to make that is not in the blog post, but I can't help but wonder if this release and this price point is an experiment for e.l.f. So I mentioned a little bit here about brand loyalty. There's not a whole lot of loyalty between beauty brands right now. And that's why you see a lot of this parasocial marketing. So that's when you're on social media and you see brands replying or acting like they're your best friend and using the hip language that you use, and you see brands commenting on other brands' posts and acting like they're people and not brands. So what I had just said just a few minutes ago here is I don't think people will stay loyal to this product because the pricing and the offering is basically the same as the other products on the market. So I'm wondering if e.l.f. is doing this just to see if people will go for it or not. And if people do go for it, maybe that opens the door to more expensive offerings. And I did definitely see comments on e.l.f.'s Instagram, people complaining about the pricing, and they had a very like beat around the bush vague response of, well, you know, we understand it's pricier, but we want to bring you these high quality products. So, you know, they know exactly what they're doing. And I hear somebody that is threatening to start a lawnmower. So, you know, just my luck here. But back to the blog post. I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint in the shade 1 Fair Neutral. I am doing swatches, a review, and 3 wear tests on acne-prone combo oily skin. Details and claims. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is a lightweight, buildable coverage serum foundation. It contains SPF 50 in the form of zinc oxide, which provides UVA and UVB protection. Since this product is tinted, that counteracts the white cast. It claims to sink into the skin with a serum feeling. e.l.f. markets it as a do-it-all product for serum, skincare serum, SPF 50, and skin tint. It comes in 18 shades for $18 each, and it contains 1 fluid ounce of product. That is standard foundation size. The shade range is organized into 6 families with 3 undertones. This product is non-comedogenic and water resistant for up to 80 minutes. This product will be rolled out to major retailers both in stores and online over the course of the year. So if you look at e.l.f.'s original posts about this product on Instagram, they do put in the caption the release dates for all of the retailers. The full list of retailers is e.l.f. Cosmetics, Amazon, Ulta, Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, and Target. So it's definitely on e.l.f., Amazon, Ulta, in Walmart, and I believe Target at the time of this writing and time of this recording, and we're waiting on CVS and Walgreens. I got mine in Ulta in store, and they're merchandising it next to the sponge, and I'll talk about the sponge as I get to it here in the blog post. Little ditty on that. But when it comes to how to use the e.l.f. Halo Skin Tint SPF 50, start by shaking it well, and then apply 5 drops to your face by using your fingers, a brush, or a sponge. And you may apply more as needed to achieve your desired level of coverage. Summary. The formula is a mineral SPF 50 serum tint that is non-comedogenic, water resistant 80 minutes, and intended to act as skincare, sun protection, and foundation in one. Swatches and shades. So in the blog post itself, you can see the swatches of 1 Fair Neutral. That's a pretty good shade match to me. It does look very pale on my hands, but you should never shade match your foundation to your hands. And I have a nice little picture of what it looks like dispensed onto a mirror so you can see that formula, that serum droppy texture. Ingredients. The key ingredients in the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint are zinc oxide, so that's your mineral SPF, what a tongue twister tonight, 50. Niacinamide, which is known to brighten the skin, and I don't know how to pronounce this. I've never seen this ingredient before. Bisabolol. That just came out horrible. That just was like word salad. But that is for soothing the skin. And they also make a quick mention to allotonin. They've been liking that in a lot of their products too. So I'm not going to read the full ingredient lists, but I have them listed in the blog post. I think I would just fall out of my chair trying to say these words. But they did note that the ingredients are different dependent on the skin tone. So they only give the ingredients for 1 Fair Neutral and 2 Fair Warm. And then they say to read the bottle to get the ingredients for the ones that you actually purchased. So I'll just move right along to my actual review. So to set you up for the 3 rigorous wear tests that I performed, I want to just reiterate my skin type. I have fair skin that is acne prone, and I get oily in my T-zone. So that's usually more so like my forehead, on and around my nose, and that's where I have the big pores. And I have basically combination skin. And I've been reviewing e.l.f. cosmetics and makeup and blogging for a decade now. So that is my experience and why I am qualified here to speak on this product. So I'll go over the controls for these wear tests. So for all 3 of these tests, I did my normal 4-step skincare routine. So I use the good old vitamin C serum. I use a discontinued collagen peptide serum, moisturizer. So right now I'm using the Pixie Vitamin C one, but I also love the e.l.f. Gel Yeah. So I'll alternate between those. And then sunscreen, I use Bliss Block Star. That combo of those 4 items, and doesn't matter which moisturizer I use, controls my oils, layers very well with skincare. So I trust those products. For these trials, I didn't use a primer, and I did use a setting spray, but it's not a setting spray that extends wear time or helps or hurts the makeup. It's just to melt that final look together and nothing more. I always allow each layer of my skincare routine to sit on my skin and absorb before I move on to the next product. But at this point, you might be like, hang on, Amanda, did you mention that you are wearing sunscreen in these tests? Yes, I am. And I also got asked about this on Reddit, why I said that it wasn't adequate enough. So if you were to ask most dermatologists, in order to get adequate sun protection, you need to apply at least a half a teaspoon of sunscreen to your face. You are never going to apply that much of this skin tint to your face or any other complexion foundation product that says it has SPF in it. It doesn't even matter how sheer it is. If you applied a half a teaspoon of this or any product, you are going to look crazy. You are literally going to look like you slathered peanut butter all over your face. I see a lot of people taking these SPF skin tints and wearing them in place of their sunscreen, and e.l.f.'s claims in their marketing make it sound like a do-it-all product, like an all-in-one. I cannot emphasize enough, this is not a replacement for sunscreen. Please use this with your sunscreen. This is essentially a low coverage tinted serum foundation. You are wearing it as a foundation, right? You are putting it on after your skincare and putting on your other makeup products. It is a complexion product. And they do recommend 5 drops. I'm telling you, 5 drops is enough. You really don't need or probably won't want more than that. Those 5 drops does not equate to half a teaspoon. If you applied half a teaspoon of this product at 1 fluid ounce at $18 a bottle, you're not going to even get that many uses out of it, and it's going to be extremely expensive. So I know I'm beating a dead horse, but please protect your face and always shake this product well before you put it on. So for my first test, I applied 5 drops with my fingers. So whenever I'm applying product straight to my face, I always massage that all over the skin to distribute it, and then I pat it in. Your skin is porous, so you always want to pat every layer of skincare of makeup in to really get that skin-like finish, get it locked down. I did not try layering the product at this time, and I just did an all cream liquid makeup look. I didn't set my face. I did use some setting powder on my under eye lines and my smile lines. I do that every day, but the whole face was not set. And in the blog post, I do have a before and after picture of my skin with and without the tint. And when you're touching the skin tint with your fingers and massaging it into the skin, it feels like it's drying down or setting into the skin almost quickly. It kind of makes you feel like, ooh, do I have a lot of time to work with this? But you do, it's okay. That formula on the fingers almost feels like it's more of a matte product, like a matte foundation. And I was also worried that 5 drops wasn't going to be enough, but ultimately I really liked it. You get more coverage than you expect. So I have redness, I have acne, I have blemishes, I have some more noticeable veins near my eyes, and I can see those showing through. So a lot of people have said, oh, this is a lot of coverage or full coverage. And I think at the end of the day, coverage with complexion products is somewhat of a lie. If you come in and you already have quote unquote perfect skin, I think you would say, oh, this product is full coverage, but I have things that I like to cover up, and this didn't fully cover them. And those would be areas that I would normally apply a little bit more foundation and build up that coverage, but I didn't, so they're showing through. So that's why in the blog post, I say the skin tint has low, very close to a medium coverage. And the shade match was pretty good as well, but this skin tint, it doesn't have any glitter or shimmer. So the finish of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is very natural, fresh. I call it subtle, dewy. It's giving you that look of like, hey, I'm having a good skincare day. I'm looking good. It's not shiny. It's not greasy. And ultimately is an ideal choice for oily combo skin. I always get freaked out anytime I'm trying a new sunscreen or SPF infused product that it's going to make me a greasy mess. I call it the greasy salami effect. If you know, you know. So I went in very scared with this, but it looks good. So the final look is very skin-like and very natural. But The only thing, one of the cons, one of the drawbacks is it doesn't dry down. So it maintains a stacky feeling that will make it prone to transfer. But all in all, two thumbs up on the finger application. I do approve it. So to conclude test one here, at the end of this wear test, I can confirm no oils came through. I did not get shiny. It is oily skin approved. Thank you to the SPF foundation gods. This is very rare. My problem areas are always my upper lip and my chin. That is where my foundation just gets weird a lot of the time. It gets a very like heavy or textured appearance. It breaks down, it just separates, gets yucky. And that did not happen while wearing this tint. And a lot of days I'll wear my makeup 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. So that was pretty remarkable. And all makeup creases in my smile lines. There's nothing that I've ever tried that has fixed that, but since this is a sheerer coverage and I'm only applying 5 drops, so less than a standard foundation, it makes that settling into the lines a lot less pronounced. I can really just take my finger and buff them out really quickly, which I can't do when I'm wearing like a heavy full beat of makeup. So I really like that. It's acceptable. And my boyfriend Joe looked at my face probably like 6 to 8 hours in, and he said, it's mostly matte with a hint of a natural glow, but doesn't have any sparkle. And I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly what it is. And I think that's what causes it to really kind of hang on the skin and just wear beautifully. Now, for my second test, I applied 5 drops of the tint and I used a foundation brush. And you already know I was using the Wet n Wild SpongeBob foundation brush. Go check out that post, but that is my ride or die. And then I tested the ability to build that coverage by adding 3 more drops to my face. Then I set my entire face with the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, and then I used the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder filter as the finishing powder just in targeted areas of the face. So the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint does have buildable coverage. You can make it more of like a low medium, maybe a medium. And again, I was just going with the recommended 5, and then I added 3, nothing too crazy. So applying more than the suggested 5 drops will give you a slightly heavier, less skin-like appearance, but that is understandable. And adding powders will help you to at least combat that dry touch finish, or more so get that dry touch finish that you're not getting when you leave it unpowdered. But again, you're still going to lose some of that skin-like look. Even though e.l.f.'s powders, both of those are phenomenal and I love them and they're very lightweight, you're just going to sacrifice a little bit of that skin-like finish. And generally speaking, whenever you set a dewy product with powder, you end up losing that glow anyways. But that's the beauty of the Halo Glow line. I can go use these powders, lock in my look, not make it too heavy, but I actually get to keep that glow because it's all in the Halo Glow line. So what I said here is that's why pairing it with e.l.f.'s Halo Glow line of powders is an ideal choice to preserve that subtle dewy glow. And I've already written an entire full-on review of the powder filter that you can check out on my blog. I actually tested the powder filter 5 different ways. While the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is brush application approved, you really just can't beat that finger application. And at the end of the day, my face looks heavier or less skin-like than it did when I used my fingers and they went unpowdered. My problem areas look a bit more textured, but still no oils came through. It still held up. Then for my third wear test, I used a sponge. So for the final wear test, I applied the skin tint using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Angled Silicone Sponge. I didn't set with powder. I started with 5 drops, and then I built the coverage with 2 more drops. So let me stop and talk about the sponge. When I was in Ulta, I saw a pink sponge on the display next to the skin tint, the Halo Glow pink color. And I didn't buy this sponge because I'm like, I already have that. So I looked into it. Originally, e.l.f. came out with their angled silicone blender sponge in a teal color. They changed it to pink and renamed it to Halo Glow. So I'm not buying that. I already have it, but that is the sponge that I tested this with. And I do have on my blog a e.l.f. makeup sponge review where I review all of their sponges. And I've used this sponge before. I love it. It's perfectly good, just like any other sponge. So that's what I explained here in the blog post. So anyways, um, I have always liked the sponge. However, you will face slight product absorption. There's no sponge that absorbs nothing. So that's why I found it kind of strange that e.l.f. is making this merchandising choice, because with this sheer kind of tinted product, I don't know why you would want to absorb it and kind of shear that out even further, even though it's very slight. But ultimately, that's why I chose to add 2 more drops. I was planning with sticking with just the 5. So yes, this skin tint is also sponge approved. It works with the fingers, sponge, brush, whatever you want to do. But at the end of this wear test, my remarks are basically all the same, but just to add on, it still looked a bit more textured than it did with the fingers. But that did have me wondering if the product is somehow affected by the water in your damp sponge. Maybe that causes it to sit or to wear a different way throughout the day. So ultimately, what I think is it is better if you stick with the recommended 5 drops. So what I ended up concluding here is the best tool out of all the tools to apply this skin tint is just simply with your fingers. Yes, you can use a foundation brush, a sponge, and that would be adequate enough to build coverage. It would give you more precision. But if you really want that skin-like, that natural, that light look, your skin but better, just use your fingers. It's unbeatable, and stick with the 5 drops. So more drops, other tools, you're going to start sacrificing some of that skin-like look. So this is truly a no fuss product. That's what I seek in a skin tint. I want a product for days where I'm short on time, or I don't want to wear a lot. I just want to look natural. I want to take it out, I want to throw it on with my fingers, and I want to be done. And that's exactly what you can do with this product. I will also say this product is going to look the best without a powder. It wants to just be worn as it is. But you might see that as a negative since it does not have a dry touch finish. But to me, it's not a deal breaker. I really don't find most of the foundations that I own actually fully dry down. So this doesn't make me crazy, but I love to hear what you think. And of course, it is oily combo skin approved. I will just say that again. 10 out of 10. It looks beautiful. It wears beautiful. It holds up all day. I am just astounded, essentially, that it didn't make me greasy, because some of their other products do. So their Glow sunscreen gets very greasy, very oily on me. It's pretty terrible. The Invisible sunscreen gets a little bit oily. It kind of depends on the day, and with all that being said, I just don't love them like I love this product. Back to the blog post. e.l.f. has not released an SPF skin tint before, but this product does expand on their successful line of Halo Glow products in the iconic baby pink packaging. With this product being one of their highest price points, it does not have much to offer against the competition. Many SPF wearers, like, oh my goodness, I've lost my place reading a simple paragraph. Many SPF wearers like the ingredients of niacinamide and zinc oxide. At least e.l.f. is providing the quality at the drugstore versus Sephora. And then in the blog post, I do have a table just to reiterate the key details and some quantitative measurements. Summary: this is a low fuss product that is best applied with fingers and worn without powder. It is great for oily skin, but not ideal for those needing a dry touch finish. Among e.l.f.'s priciest offerings, but a drugstore win for niacinamide and zinc oxide fans. Pros and cons. The pros: suitable for oily combination acne-prone and fair skin tones, delivers a skin-like natural-looking finish, controls excess oil throughout the day, ideal for quick, minimal makeup routines. And the cons: building coverage may reduce the natural skin-like appearance, performs best without setting powder, has a tacky finish that does not fully dry down, and can look heavier when applied with a brush or a sponge. Frequently asked questions. Is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint non-comedogenic? I feel like I'm not saying that word right. Maybe it's just one of those days where you say something and it doesn't sound right to you, but Maybe you want to smack me. Maybe I'm irritating you. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yes, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is non-comedogenic, meaning it will not clog your pores. This makes it a good choice for oily and acne-prone skin types looking for light coverage and a dewy finish. Is e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint a foundation or a tinted moisturizer? The e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is a light coverage foundation serum with SPF. While e.l.f. markets it as an SPF skin tint, it performs like a sheer foundation rather than a tinted moisturizer. What are the best tools to apply e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint? The best way to apply the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint is with your fingers for a natural skin-like finish. You can also use a dense foundation brush or the e.l.f. Halo Glow angled silicone sponge for more coverage or precision. Is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint a dry touch finish? No, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint does not have a dry touch finish. It leaves a slightly tacky feel and may transfer without setting. For a longer lasting finish, pair it with a setting powder or spray. When I wear this skin tint, I feel confident and glam. I will be reaching for it again, especially when I want a lighter and more natural look. It is also excellent for long makeup days. And that is it. That is the blog post, and then just the rest of my random thoughts here. I had one. Let's see if it comes back here. Looking back at the summary. Yeah, I don't quite remember what thought I had when I was reading that, but I'll definitely be reaching for this again. So, like I mentioned, for days where I just want a lighter look, I still want to look glam because it does give you that glam, but more of that like no makeup look, or I'm in a hurry. I'm just going out doing some errands. I think it's perfect for that. Of course, I do wish that it was cheaper, but I'm overjoyed that it is working for my skin type. And it came back to me when I said skin type. I think this would be good for all skin types. I don't foresee it being a bad thing for dry skin because it's kind of right in the middle there with not being matte, but just the right amount of dewy. And if you have normal skin, you can basically wear everything. So this would work for you as well. And I did post this to Reddit, to drugstore MUA, MUA. I don't know if people ever say MUA, but that's how my brain reads it. And then I just say it at my mouth. And I've had some interesting replies here. So while I was recording this, one came through and said, $18 for e.l.f. Am I just out of touch? And I'll have to respond to that with, yeah, they're getting a little crazy. And I got another comment in. People were asking if anyone tried this compared to the Maybelline Dream Fresh BB cream. And if that is something that you're interested in, just like the Revlon, you can drop me a comment on the blog, Substack, in the podcast, anywhere you want to leave this comment and let me know. I don't know what the Dream Fresh BB cream is. Like, I've seen it, I've heard of it, I just never used it. And my initial inkling is it would not be the same because it is a BB cream. And I have tried other BB creams. So that, BB stands for Beauty Balm, is like a tinted light coverage foundation, usually with typically has more of like a moisturizer benefit with ones that I've tried in the past. Whereas this primary reasoning for this product is sunscreen, SPF. Everybody wants SPF right now in the skin tints. So I have a feeling maybe visually they would compare, but not formula wise. So I'll have to get back to those comments. But hey, we made it to the end here. Hopefully the audio didn't do anything crazy. I'm just hanging out here on a Sunday night. I also got my hair cut today. So I always get my hair cut at Great Clips. I don't go to any fancy salon. That's never been my life. Maybe it should be. But I used to get my hair cut every 6 months. And the last time I went, the girl definitely took off more than 3 inches. I was always getting 3 inches. And you guys know I love to wear fake hair. I do a lot of ponytail extensions, bun extensions, and I'll put my hair on top of my head. And besides, she took off too much. I think she was doing the shorter in the back, longer in the front thing. Every time I put my hair up, a giant section would fall out, and I'd have to use all these clips and gel and all of this to make it look nice and neat, and it was just a pain. So I got angry and just didn't go back and get my hair cut when I was supposed to. So I can't even tell you the last time I went. So I finally went today. I got 5 inches off. It's basically back to the length I always have it. And I was very clear. I was like 5 inches all one length. Don't do the shorter, longer thing, no layers, because I like to put my hair up. I told her I was a beauty blogger and all of that. So she did a really good job. She was a nice girl. I still think it'll fall down because that just happens when my hair falls just slightly below my shoulders and it'll be agitating. But oh, it is summertime. It's finally warmed up and I can't stand the longer hair. It is warm. It is a nuisance. So I'm so happy. And other than that, I went out to eat for Father's Day, and Dad didn't want to go anywhere too fancy today. He just wanted to do Applebee's because we haven't been there in forever. And you guys, I haven't talked about this, but I can if you want me to. In 2024, my goal was to lose weight, and I lost all of the weight that I was looking to lose. And I can write a whole thing about that if you're curious. But I didn't allow myself to have a lot of cheat days, especially a cheat day at Applebee's. And I've been dying to have a burger or a chicken sandwich. They haven't had one since 2023. So I had a whole cheat meal today. I had the burger, I had the fries, I had the nachos, I had a dessert. I deserve it. I'm happy and it was very good. And now I am just here digesting and vegetating and running my mouth about expensive skin tint. So there we have it. So once again, let me know if you feel so inclined to leave a comment about this product. Are you going to buy it? Is it too expensive? Or what do you think about it? Do you want me to compare this to the Maybelline BB cream, to the Revlon SPF skin tint, or anything else you want to say? Just let me know. Thank you so much. You are my people, and I'll see you next time.